Hello! Welcome back. I'm Grimlock, as you know, because you clicked on my video. And today, again, because you also know because you clicked on my video, I'm doing an update to my Infernoble deck. I know it was the last thing that I did. I did put the deck down for a little bit, but it's new format. I thought I'd give it a try, and it seems to be doing really, really well. Took it back to locals, went undefeated once again with this deck. This time I didn't drop a single game. So I'll go over my matchups. I'll go up after that because then you'll know a bit more context for what happened. So we'll start with the main deck. So unlike my last video, I'm not going to go into detail as to what all the cards do. Unless it's something new, which I don't actually think there is. I think there's actually less engine in here than there was before. So yeah. 3 connector, 1 dolphin. I want to say super good. And in theory and online, this card is absolutely amazing. However, at locals, I honestly was sat there and like, if I didn't have access to a guaranteed extender, there was often lines where I had the Neospace connector and the Orgia with Renard, and because it's the start of the format, I don't know what hand traps people are running, and if I would honestly rather risk this, because if they stop the Orgia, you've still got the Renard and stuff like that, so you can still follow up. If they stop this and you have nothing else, well, it just feels bad. It does. I'm so tempted to try the battling boxes. I know you lose your battle phase, so it's not as good going second. And obviously, you don't get that hand knowledge. But when it does work, it's the best card in the game by far. I don't think anything comes close to the amount of power that this does. It's basically triple tactics, except you don't have to wait for your opponent to do something. It's so good. Moving on to the actual Infernobles themselves. 3 Orgia, Foolish Burial for basically anything in the deck. Renard, best extender, summons itself for free, becomes a tuner. If it's summoned by its own effect, then it adds back a card that's in your grave or banished. Really good for the connector combo. Now that I'm not playing the Noble Knight XE monster. 2 over. It's basically just your 5th and 6th copy of Renard if it gets stopped. Not as good, but realistically it's just because it summons itself as a level 1. And it's a fire warrior. So I wouldn't really change these ratios. I've saw people playing 2 Renard and... oh god, the lightning's awful there. I've saw people playing 2 Renard and 2 Orgia. 1 of this, 2 of this, 1 of this as well. I can't ever imagine cutting this engine at all. If anything, I'd probably bump Oliver up. I'm not going to do that because I do like the way it is. And then the one-offs. I forget if I was playing Morgus last time. I believe I was. Still absolutely insane. And Ricardetto, or Richard, however people call it, and Turpin. These 2 cards are absolutely insane. You use them as part of your combo. And I also drew this quite a lot. Well, I drew both of these quite a lot, but there is a combo that lets you basically get around that. Plus, this can summon itself from hand anywhere, and when it doesn't get banished, so you can use it on a follow-up turn. But yeah. And even the Morgus equip effect, where they can't be destroyed by battle, that came up a few times as well. And then the last 2 monsters, Fireflint Lady and Gearfried. So if you open the Ricardetto, you still want to only send 1. You summon this, tribute this, summon Ricardetto. It's the exact same combo. And I believe I also had this at 2, and I was playing a red layer as well. I don't know. Every time I opened this card, I really liked it. I think it's just finding space in the main deck. I just don't think there is, especially with already losing a main deck space for Angel Ring when that comes out in Age of Overlord. But yeah, just really, really good cards. This is why a lot of people are playing Fenrir. I think this does just a good job, to be honest. The whole point of Fenrir is to just get rid of an opponent's monster. This does that in multiple ways. I know it's not as good as Fenrir, but I still think it's absolutely amazing. Then for the monsters. Then for the spells, 3 Chalice, Rota, all exactly the same. Nothing's changed there. In fact, I don't think most of the engine spells haven't changed at all. We've got 3 museums still. I wouldn't play terraforming because it's so searchable. 3 Durandal. This will probably get cut down to 2 maybe for Angel Ring. I always end up siding one of these out. Never really felt it, to be honest, so it might go down to 2, or I might just add an extra one. And then Almas and Joyous for the actual Infernoble cards. These cards are both ridiculously good. Especially the second effect, but this also, if your Renault does get stopped and you can't grab your gear free back, you can always just grab this later on in the turn, especially if you open 1 museum, because that gets you a spare one as well. And the last 2 we play a Phoenix Blade, and I believe I was also playing Metal Silver before, which I've replaced with DDR. This is good. I mean, it is mandatory to replace the Metal Silver with this, because this is required for the Connector 1 card combo now, which I guess I can show off at the end of this video. And then the last spells, talents. There's multiple reasons why I'm playing this. People are playing hand traps again. There's a lot of Ash, a lot of Vela, stuff like that. People are still playing Fenrir, so this is really, really good going first and going second. More than anything, I use the hand rip. There's often times where you will you'll use Connector, but they've got 2 hand traps, and if you can't bring back that dolphin to do its second effect, then that also loses you 2 cards in hand to get rid of 2 cards. I don't know if technically this does the same as well, but this can get rid of anything. Because if let's say they only have 1 hand trap, but you see they have evenly matched, or you see that they have Dark Ruler no more, especially, or Super Poly, you use this. You use this to get rid of that, so it's really, really good. It also puts it back into the deck rather than destroying it, so it technically makes them less likely to draw a good card. Kind of wonky thinking, but yeah. And then for the only hand traps that I'm playing, I think it's just the 6 now, just Ash, Impalm, just covers a lot of bases, really, really good. So that's the main deck. Next, we will move on to the extra deck, which again, it's changed very, very slightly, I think. But yeah. 2 Angelica, still the best card in the extra deck, other than Isolde. 1 Roland, 2 Charles. I really want to cut this. I just don't know what I'd replace it with. And I also really like the second one. I mean, the second one, I've yet to make it yet, but I don't know. I'm kind of a bit cautious and nervous to cut it. I do want to, but it would have to be for something guaranteed. Maybe if SP Little Knight is cheap. I doubt it's going to be. But yeah. And then Baron de Fleur for the Synchro Monsters, which this I made quite a lot. So those are all the Synchros, pretty good. Then for links, playing quite a few links. Playing 2 Charles the Great. Should have kept it as Charlemagne. 2 Isolde. You know, the best. This card, if it resolves, is literally anything in the game. Playing 1 Ferocious Flame Swordsman and 1 Raten the Heavenly General and a Gorky Paolo Doga. Then the final one is Appaloosa. Never made this. I still wouldn't cut it. There are combo lines that allow you to make this. I haven't really practiced them very much, so I probably would have went into it a little bit more. this. Honestly, I won the game every time I summoned this. I got debarriered, and I managed to make my end board. It was these two like this. So the Gorky and the Raten. And it was pretty much unoutable. And the final one is the Dempsey, just the 1xe now. I still think it's ridiculously good. Just that lighten a little bit. Yeah, this is really, really good. This does what the Noble Knight XE does, but better. The combo line is much smoother. It gets you more material and grave. But yeah, so it's really, really good. And it's generic as well, a generic level, rank 4. So you can actually use your connector if you have to go through multiple of that. Yeah. That is the extra deck. And then I'll go over the side, which obviously the side's less important. The main thing to note is I completely removed the battle boxes, and engine, so the up one uppercutter and the flamvel counter, which may go back in. They kind of just seem a bit gimmicky. And I've also removed the Shogun engine as well. That will be going back in when Angel Ring comes back, because it is a full lock. But yeah, like I said, experimental. My locals changes all the time. Also, the format's changing. So 3 Crow, good against Unchained, which, funnily enough, up until I put this in, we had an Unchained player, and conveniently he stopped playing it. He went back to Labyrinth, which this still helped against. I got rid of a bunch of stuff in his grave. Phantasma, I put this in once against my Fire round, which is quite a funny matchup, so I'll talk about it later. But yeah, it literally was sided in for one game, because I had a look around the room and I was like, oh, I'm the only... There was a Trap Tricks player, and that was it, really. For like link spam, well, not link spam, but like link based decks. This didn't go garbage. Never ever saw a reason to put this in. I other than like Infernoble Knights, I don't really see a combo deck that that you would put it in for. Unchained don't care. Pearly don't care. Tailments just say thank you for the free extender and allowing me to trigger all my effects. But yeah, this is probably going to come out. First, don't know what. Maybe Judgments if I had them. My brother has borrowed them though. We then play 3 evenly. I mean, this is always going to be a good card. I know Unchained doesn't lose to it, but it gets rid of at least 1 interruption, which against that deck is still really huge. And it makes their board a little bit... Gets rid of interruption, and it makes it so their recoverability to other board breakers is not as strong. Oh, pardon me. And then 2 Cyclone and a Feather Duster. This was really, really good into Labyrinth. As soon as they activated Big Welcome, I chained this so that they didn't have to follow up for next turn. But yeah. So that's the deck profile. I guess I'll go over my matchups now. And then I'll quickly go over the combo. So actually no, I'll not go over the combo. Maybe in another video. So round 1, all my matches were 2-0. Doesn't mean that there were swift 2-0s. Some of them were, some of them weren't. Game 1, I was playing against a Trap Tricks player. He seemed very new to the game and very new to the deck, because both games, game 2, game 1 I just OTK'd him, he set 1 and passed. Game 2, he literally had full combo, and he sat there and said, my hand doesn't do anything, it's a complete brick. And I looked at him and I was like, your hand is, those 2 cards on your field are like 6 interruption. So yeah, I ended up beating him 2-0, and then I showed him a few combo lines, and then I think he just needs a bit of practice with the deck. Round 2, I played against Branded, rather budget Branded, but it still had a lot of the power cards in it, like Dragoon, and, well, Mirror Jade's powerful in and of itself. He played Super Poly, stuff like that. Well, I mean, he didn't draw the Super Poly, and all I have to say to that is, good card. good card against Branded. Not that that comes to a surprise to anyone. Well, yeah, and it was literally just ashed them both. Did DD Crow his is it Dramaturge, the one that summons itself back from the graveyard when you fuse with it and negates an extra deck monster on summon? I DD Crow'd that, and that kind of won me that game as well. Round 3 was Labyrinth. Two of them, those both games were very, very long. They both took up about, I'd say about half of the. It was like we got very, very close to time. But yeah, like I said, Cosmic Cyclone putting in the work. And eventually, I just completely outgrinded him. He was the one who debarriered me, and I managed to still get in like 7 materials, like 7 link materials, and make the link 3 and the link 4. But yeah, I just out-resourced him completely. So round 4, I'm gonna preface this by saying this guy is he's like a proper one trick with his deck. He's an absolute menace, and he consistently goes 3-1 and 4-0 at my locals against people playing actual competitive decks. So he was playing Kashtira Super Quantums, and what he was doing was using the Fenrir engine, similar to how this deck does, to grab a Rise Heart, and then making it a level 7 to make it into the rank 7 Super Quant monster to go into, to have a negate and to go into Zeus, and also to get his like Super Quants out his hand. Yeah, the guy knows the combos of that deck, every single small interaction. I thought I'd lost game 1 because I made a misplay with going to pop his Alphen, and I didn't. Not his Alphen, his he used a Diviner to send the Trias Hierarchy or whatever that card is, and my idea was to equip to Charlemagne to pop the Diviner. I didn't realise the Trias was a quick effect. However, it did end up working in my favour because he was trying to use a Fenrir to banish my Baron. So I popped my own Baron, got it in the graveyard, and then I actually banished it, and then used DDR to bring it back out because it'd be synchro summoned properly. But yeah, it was absolutely insane. Then game 2, it ended up coming down to me having a Gearfried being the ultimate raid boss, not being able to be destroyed by battle, card effect, or targeted, and it had a what's it called? A Roland equipped to him, as well as having the field spell. So he was just being like a complete menace. And he basically couldn't come back from that. I managed to get him on top decking, and all he was doing was setting and passing. He did spook me a little bit when he set and passed him. Was like, oh, I hope he doesn't play into this, but it's gonna work. It was a set Ash Blossom. So, but yeah, that does wrap it up at 4, and in very classic fashion, winning locals. I opened absolutely nothing. The Labyrinth player that I beat in round 3 pulled an Ulti Thrust. So yeah, but that's the deck profile. I do hope you've enjoyed it. I know it's not hugely different to the last one. Mainly the changes are in the side and a little bit in the extra deck. But yeah, like, comment, subscribe. I don't know, if we reach 15 likes, I will make a combo video. But thanks for watching. Bye.